Released December 17th, 2007 in North America and March 2008 in Europe and Australia, MX vs. ATV Untamed is the second installment in the MX vs. ATV series. Untamed has 9 events to choose from in standard play, plus the 2 championship modes, one of which being the X-Cross tournament, which has you doing small 1-to-5 race series to climb through the bracket, unlocking vehicles and cosmetics along the way. Series mode is pretty much the same concept, unlocking new championships to race in as you progress. These 2 modes are where all of your money is made to buy new vehicles and gear, along with unlocking gold and platinum versions of bikes and ATVs, plus some of the larger vehicles. Despite having almost every event type returned from Unleashed, we actually are down one as Hill Climb has been removed from the roster. Short tracks look like they are also missing, but they were directly replaced by a new event type, Minimoto. We've also gained a new event type in the form of Endurocross, which is a really cool addition. The last event types we have are actually mini-games. Graffiti, Section Race, Snake and Tag are all available online and split screen. However, the final minigame, Hockey, is a local play exclusive that puts you in a 1v1 on ATVs, complemented by a completely unique arena exclusive to the game mode. Untamed has a very unique approach to its track formatting. We now have 10 distinct locations with big, wide open worlds to explore. Every location has a nationals track and a mix of open class racing, which is now renamed Open Cross, freestyle, supermoto, and waypoint. My favorite. The total number of tracks Untamed has is 51, which is a pretty sizable drop-off from the 74 that Unleashed had on offer. There are things that make up for the sharp decrease in the number of tracks though. The large, more fleshed out open environments, the addition of Endurocross, the more varied freestyle courses, and to cap it off, Supermoto had a huge glow up in this game, doubling the track count from 3 to 6. They were also given very cool locations on their respective maps. Speaking of these maps, let's actually touch on these outdoor locations a bit. These locations are pretty kick-ass. They have road and trail systems, campsites, small towns and factories. They're teeming with life and have so much to explore. They also have large standout map features, like a towering lighthouse, tall suspended train bridges, ancient ruins. There are even sprockets hidden around the maps that you can collect that have trophies or achievements, depending on what platform you're on, tied to them. All of the nationals are pretty great, with massive elevation change and huge high-speed jumps and roller sections. But I want to turn my attention to the Supermoto tracks. They are so much fun and all have such cool locations. Clearwater is a prehistoric themed go-kart course, Pine Lakes is built in the parking lot of a ski lodge, Greenfield is built on an airport that has you rushing in and out of small hangars and navigating tight chicanes. The open cross tracks I personally love. They feel way more like proper cross-country racing, though I am disappointed we didn't get an open cross track in every environment. A few locations also have Freestyle is also a lot of fun in this game, especially with the blend of massive outdoor freestyle areas and smaller, more reasonable indoor layouts. The tricks look amazing, but the timings on some of them are pretty awkward, and I feel like I crash undeservingly a lot when doing a handful of specific tricks. I'm going to single out the Supercross tracks and stadiums for a minute, because wow, they went above and beyond with them in this game. The stadiums look amazing, with distinct floor layouts and skyboxes with dense city skylines. The layouts are quite a bit more grounded than the Unleashed tracks, but that doesn't mean they are realistic by any means. They still have their gigantic rhythm lanes and cartoonish large berms, but everything else feels so much more reasonably scaled. This goes for the entire game, not just Supercross. The track objects don't look out of place and are far better proportioned to the tracks and characters, both rider and track crew. Oh yeah, there are actually people and other wildlife like coyotes, deer, and chickens littered around these maps. How cool is that? Not only that, but depending on the freeride location, you will actually see other characters just freeriding. Indoor, there's usually one, but outdoors there's up to 3. They pretty much just loop all of the courses on a given map, but it is a touch that brings life to an already very lively game. Now for the parts I don't like. Okay, more importantly, Minimoto and Endurocross have a dismally low 2 tracks each. It's especially disappointing because this is the last time we would see either of these events for a very long time. And while I think 6 Supermoto tracks is fine for this title, as again, it's double what the prior title had, I really wish we would have gotten more, because unlike Endurocross and Minimoto, this is the last time we would see Supermoto in an MX vs ATV game. Onto the customization, and this game's is a huge step up. There are more gear sets, and they are actually organized and show you all of the colorways and designs each brand has. We got the addition of chest protectors wow. We got the addition of chest protectors too. Don't get used to seeing these. And you can actually change your skin tone now. If you want to know the total number of gear and color combinations, it's over 280, with 61 helmets, 60 goggles, 65 gear sets, 53 boots, and 44 chest protectors. To add to that, the helmets, goggles, and boots actually have their own models that reflect their real-world counterparts rather than just being a skinned generic model. Vehicles started the trend of MVA's now pretty extensive vehicle customization. Every bike and ATV now have separated graphics, handlebars, and tires to pick from. Plus you can pick the color of the plastics and some other smaller components, which gives everything some much needed personalization. As an example, I was playing with one of my buddies, and we both just happened to be using the Swift, which is the Suzuki lookalike. But we had different graphics and components that made us stand out from each other. The larger land machines also got some much needed love. All of them now have at minimum 2 new models, with a handful of colorways each. We also got a new land vehicle, the ORV Sport, which is going to carry forward into the next game, and later on in the series become a staple. Weirdly enough, this game has no branded bikes or ATVs, or any other vehicle for that matter. They're all just renamed lookalikes, like Atom, Swift, Raven, Savage. Just generic names over what are very obviously KTMs, Hondas, and Kawasaki's. They all have 2-stroke and 4-stroke models, so that's cool. For some reason, the Atom lacks a 250F variant, but it's not really a big deal. This game also started the trend of no 2-stroke ATV models, which I could be wrong, but I don't think there's been a 2-stroke ATV since Unleashed. Before final placement and closing statements, soundtrack time. Once again, is a banger. Unfortunately, there are a couple of instant turnoffs for me, but the soundtrack is large enough I don't feel like I'm missing any songs.
My phone. Tell me I'm a bad man. We will carry each other.
S tier. There was never a doubt in my mind this was going anywhere else. Everything from the small arenas to the large outdoor environments, they're so lively and well detailed. Despite having even less tracks in Unleashed, there are still enough that I wouldn't question it. Customization was not only a massive step forward, but it also started a trend that following games in the series would continue and build on. There is so much more to love than to hate in this game, and I see it as a timeless classic. This game is far more influential on future titles in the series in terms of customization, event, and track structure than people will give it credit for. Staying in the same generation but once again taking us to a different platform, MX vs ATV Reflex is the next game I will be exploring. See you next time.